it's we talked about how, like, looking at our past experiences and different endeavors we've done in life, and we think like, well, you could easily look, at least like with Walks with God Ministries and the history, it's like, well, maybe like the Right Division School in Oregon was a failure, or maybe the publishing Ancient Publishing House was a failure, or maybe like the online church was a failure because it like started but didn't go on for a long time, or whatever the case is. But I realized it's like those weren't failures; those are extreme victories, because there were so many lessons learned through the experience, and because of the Ancient Publishing, I have a greater appreciation for modern publishing and the far-reaching effects of what it could do, and even like doing the online Bible studies and then studying with people to fruition and finish. Some people were getting baptized, but then like eventually like not keep studying with them because when starting this school, just stop doing Bible studies. But then it's just like, I mean, there's so many ways you can look in life, and you can see failure, you can see success through the learning opportunities. And so, like, looking back in life, I realized each of those experiences make me who I am today, and I'm so grateful for that. And it was a defining moment for me when you and I were having that conversation, when you were like asking, I don't remember exactly how you worded it, but you asked like, how do I view that, like these past endeavors, because you're trying to figure out how to make sense of the apparent failures in your life. And I realized it was so encouraging to see entrepreneurs in these startup companies. Of usually we hear like the media likes to sensationalize stuff like overnight success, or these people came out of nowhere, or like this ministry like exploded over here. And when we see that the Lord bless their efforts, we think that it's overnight, but there's no such thing as overnight success. It is through patiently doing, like, these articles or these like testimonies or reports, they don't take into account that these people have been like 10 years laboring in Bible work, or laboring in producing videos with no views, or 11 views or 30 views or whatever, until they eventually got to a point where more people were able to see, and they were able to be blessed by those individuals. And like a lot of these like companies that you hear, these big brands that sell for millions of dollars, it's like we don't realize that that entrepreneur who is now put on a pedestal has actually tried and failed like 8 startup companies before, but there was like one consistent thing with all of them, was that they had perseverance, they had a determination, they had a hunger, they had a drive that they were just not going to fail, not going to quit. And so with every apparent failure, they just put it under their feet and to step higher, and then failed again and put it under their feet, and they could just climb higher, and they built upon those experiences that helped them to put together like something that grew beyond themselves. And I realized that that's what God's trying to do for each of us. And Satan loves to tempt us to fall, and when he gets us to fall, he's like, all right, I'm going to push you in there, and he reminds us of all of our mistakes, our shortcomings, our failures. But Proverbs says, the just man falleth 7 times and riseth up again, but the wicked, they fall into mischief. So the difference between the just and the wicked was that the just riseth up again. And so that's what we got to do too.